the monstrous Dreadnoughtus gets its first proper reveal. A massive win for mods on Xbox, but PlayStation players left in the dark. And do we now know why Raasclark was replaced with Extinction? You're right, kids, it's Raasclark, and welcome to your regular ARK community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. So Community Crunch 434 arrives to us with our first proper look at the Dreadnoughtus, the creature that you voted to be added with the Ascended remaster of Extinction, arriving on December the 16th. And it's a powerhouse, got a bit of a chunky neck there, do you even lift, brah? Seeming to spout some toxicity from its mouth while players attack it from all angles, but looking at these players, all adorning the cool new Extinction Wasteland War skins we're going to get with the final part of the Bob's Tall Tales DLC pack, we can see what appears to be new weapons being wielded, dual-wielded by players indeed, and kind of curious what exactly these are. They look like perhaps something you need to tame this with, but my mind's definitely looking at Tech Spear. Is this a little hint giveaway at a new weapon coming with the map when it arrives in December, with the devs explaining that this is a monster with anything below the size of a Spino, it's simply ignoring and unleashing a sound so forceful it disrupts the very essence of elements, leveling the playing field against even the fiercest titans. Wildcard have been very clear about this from day one. This is going to be the dino you're going to want to tame if you want to take on the Titans, with a wonder how better it's going to be over any other thing you've used before. Wildcard go on to say and reconfirm we are going to get another community creature vote, though wasn't in this crunch, kind of wondering, was it meant to be, or is it meant to be alluding to a date? No date offered here, but it's definitely going to be for Valguero next year. So you might have heard about the recent patch with cryopods. That's right, PvE players, you now have the ability to cryopod anything you want and throw it straight out like you know ASE. PvP players, you're still restricted to needing cryo fridges around you, but single players out there, you might think, what's going on? Because if I try to cryopod anything and uncryo it out, it's still not working for me. What's going on? Even changing the game mode to PvE doesn't seem to help you either. Well, it turns out when that patch arrived earlier in the week, it only affected servers, wasn't a major update that allowed everybody to install that update and have their cryopods working as intended, though we're going to see a giant major update apparently really soon. So sadly, you're restricted to either changing the game user settings INI if you're on PC, of course, by entering disable cryopod fridge requirement equal true, awaiting the certification with Sony and Microsoft when it drops hopefully early next week, or just downloading using one of the many very handy cryopod mods that are out there now. And Xbox users, you pretty much can install whatever you want now, because that's right, a recent patch drops to Xbox allowing up to 50 gig worth of mod installs, a major pivotal moment in negotiations between CurseForge and Microsoft to allow a giant amount of space for mods on a game console. Pretty unprecedented, though sadly in result of everybody lost their mods when that happened, and it was a bit of a shame that wasn't announced to double check your mods. I hear a lot of people lost their progress as a result of this. It's a real shame to see. Always make sure you're backing up your saves if you can, but a huge win, I think, in a time where cross-play mods are a thing for everybody now, for who play ARK, except for PlayStation, because executive producer Jat did reply to our tweet in excitement of this, explaining hopefully we're going to see this sometime early next year, because the PlayStation version requires a pretty large technical lift, and Xbox was just a simple value change. With over 2/3 of you using mods now, mods are prevalent in any ARK playthrough now, with so many cross-play mods to date. It's a wonder how much bigger that space is going to get in the future. Mods are only going to increase in size as bigger, cooler ideas come out. And well, mods we got in the form of events previously, we're going to have a little bit of bad news, unfortunately, given to us, though in light of something I think everybody agrees on. Wildcard explains, look, they listen to us, they understand we don't want events on Club ARK. Whilst it's a great opportunity for experimenting with new styles of play, nobody seems to want their events restricted to Club ARK, and Wildcard have listened to that and seemingly maybe had plans for Turkey Trials to be going to Club ARK, and because of that and them not having the capacity to roll out a full-blown Turkey Trials event, you're not going to get it, unfortunately. You're going to get Dino Colours and increased rates, and that's about it with Turkey Trials. A bit of a shame to see, of course. This was the one opportunity you get to tame your very own Dodo Rex for a limited time, and those killer turkeys all wreaking havoc on your beaches. But, you know, it was, in the grander scheme of things, a much smaller offering of an event, so not too big of a deal. And apparently, rest assured, they're planning a much bigger Winter Wonderland event presented in both the base game as well as Club ARK in sometime December. A bit of a side note on the upcoming Ultimate Survivor edition of ARK that's coming to mobile and looks pretty good at that. We saw this at the Extra Life event a few weeks ago, and as far as we know is still planned to drop in December. Well, there was a private beta side up to it, but that's now closed, so I'm reporting about something you can't really do much about. But don't fret too much, it was only restricted to iOS users only, so you know, that's me out. I haven't got an iPhone or any of those things, and I guess a lot of you out there don't either, but some people definitely got in, and it is still a private beta, so you won't see any footage as a result of this or however it's running. And I guess that's probably because it's a more stable platform to work with, but you know, no good to me, and especially seeing that the beta's already closed. Came a bit late to the party on that one. But publisher Snail Games were proud to announce this addition to the ARK franchise during their Q3 filings, in which there was a lot of sales jargon and, you know, stuff like that that will completely gloss over. There was a lengthy conference call, though not too much to take out of that, apart from that they'll be releasing maps every 3 months instead of their originally planned every 2 months. But let's face it, who didn't see that coming? But one particular note that got my spidey sense tingling was this loan that they've been trying to pay back for quite a while. Well, it seems they've got a deadline date of December the 31st, 2024, where they've got a balance of 3 million left to pay, and if they don't, gonna fall into some stocks and shares controlling with the company that have loaned them money. There's honestly a lot of jargon, a lot of eye-glazing text to go through here. One thing was an investment that flopped and then they pulled out of it, and come on, Snail, figure it out, man. Like, try and invest into the things that you know work, i.e. ARK. Stop investing into all of these crazy, wacky ideas and losing money. Invest into the one thing you know works for you. But this December the 31st loan agreement definitely got me thinking that Raasclark, right, that was meant to be the next map that we thought we was going to get, and no, it was Extinction. And I think it's clear to see there's a final push to try and drive sales for the last installment of the Bob's Tall Tales pack to try and attain that amount, to make sure they're not losing any stocks and shares to anyone. And that's why Extinction had to take priority with the final part of Bob's Tall Tales, and why Raasclark had to be pushed back to March next year, as far as we know. What it's got me thinking, though, is 3 million is still a hefty amount to try and claw back. I guess we had the Dreadmare recently that was met to a resounding welcome over the less so fantastic beast Pyromane. This one you all loved, and I'm sure Wildcard and Snail are taking note of what they've done right with this one, and may even try and push, dare I say it, if they're trying to hit that 3 mil figure by the end, another fantastic beast before the end. Think about that. If you find one out, that means they're really trying to drive those sales before the end so they don't lose those stocks and shares. And I guess some offered clarity there definitely offers to understand the schedule format we've had so far. But I wonder whatever happens at the end of the year. What is the proposal for ARK's income following that? I think I'm very firmly fixed on possibly hearing news of this story map that Jesse and Jeremy sort of briefed on during the Extra Life event. I get that there's a possibility we might see news surrounding this. Don't forget, it is ARK's 10-year anniversary, and perhaps we'll get a planned date for that, celebrating that 10-year anniversary, or maybe just an announcement for whatever that's going to be. I do firmly feel that that's going to be the case, and that we'll see perhaps Gem 1 and 2 after whatever this story map is. With those maps definitely feeling like they needed a link to Extinction, it always felt like there was a weird gap between the two, and we all believe a certain map, if there's going to be a new story map, where it's going to be set, and if it is, it would make sense, right? And if that's the case, it could be a well-rounded, narratively driven segue into what's next, with a bit more freer arms from Wildcard, are not restricted to trying to get what they can out before the end of this year. A lot of interesting ideas coming from the owners of Wildcard, and I look forward to hearing more about that as time ticks towards that 10-year anniversary. But you know, until then, Extinction is coming around on a specific date. What date? December the 16th date, though. Don't book that date off, because I guarantee you it's a Monday. Normally we see stuff on a Tuesday with certification and all that jazz. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Come on, it's Wildcard. It's Wildcard and release dates. You know what happens, folks. When do we ever see anything on a Monday? It's very rare. I would place my bets we'll see that changed to a 17th, or at the very least it'll be like 11 p.m. their time on December the 16th, so technically December the 17th our time. Looking forward to it, especially the cars in particular. I'm looking forward to how exactly they're going to introduce themselves into the meta, and how much they're going to take priority over dinos, or not at all, or are they going to be well aligned with dinos. It's a real new step in ARK's direction, and I can't wait to simply just use these in Mario Kart style events. So until the next one, my name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and as always, peace out.